Welcome back to my channel. It has been quite a long time. A lot of things have happened. I finally had my baby. Yay, I did it. Pushed out a 9.5 pound baby. I've been wanting to film a video for quite a while, but obviously I've been pretty busy and I've been trying to give myself time to recover. It's barely been a month. Today's video, if you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about Chapell Roan and some of the things that she's been saying and kind of how people are already turning on her. The reason why I want to talk about this because this topic is very important to me as someone who is an SA survivor. Also, trigger warning. I'm going to be briefly talking about this topic. But before I get started, make sure you follow me on Instagram, go subscribe, go check out my Depop if you want to go get some cheap clothes. Go do that. Let me clear out my closet. Let's get into today's topic. I forgot how to do this, so bear with me. So I was on TikTok per usual. What is new? That's all I've been doing recently, and I stumbled across this TikTok video in which Chapell Roan was discussing basically how she has been feeling about super fans and how she feels like her boundaries are being crossed, which in all fairness they are. And I want to preface this saying that I don't want to invalidate anything that she's going through. I made a TikTok about this myself, about how people just have no shame and just feel like they're entitled to people, whether it's entitled to knowing details about their personal life or entitled to feeling like they can just bully people online just because it's their job, which irks me to my core because people are always like, well, if you can't handle the hate, then don't be an influencer, don't be online, etc., which never made sense to me because it's like, what about just not being a terrible person? What about that? But apparently that's too profound for people to understand that, hey, people behind the screen are real people.
Shit, I am literally at home on live, bitch. This is not the Grammys. You looking at me is not like I am meeting the queen, bitch. Shut your ass up. Holy fuck. Dumb ass, Humpty Dumpty ass bitch. I just dropped my eyeliner, but that's okay. And also I'm trying
to have real feelings. What you're doing is actually hurting. If you've been following me for a while, you know what I'm talking about, especially with stan culture behavior. Not gonna get into it, but you can see my other videos about it, and I have a very strong opinion about this because it's just toxic parasocial relationships time and time again, especially with all of this AI stuff and just how we can easily access our favorite celebrities online, right? We can easily access what they're doing, what they're up to by them posting on their Instagram stories, them sharing about their engagement, them sharing about their babies, which is why Bobby's not on the internet right now. So I'm gonna read this. This is basically her Instagram post, which if you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description, but I'm gonna read this part in particular, which is what a lot of people have a problem with. I feel like a lot of people agreed with her up until this point. I would have to say that too. So it says, the situation is similar to the idea that if a woman wears a short skirt and gets harassed or catcalled, she shouldn't have worn a skirt in the first place. It is not the woman's duty to suck it up and take it, which is true. It's not the woman's, I don't want to even say woman, I just want to say person's place to just suck it up and take it. It is her house's duty to be distant person, leave her alone, respect that she can wear whatever she wants and do whatever she wants, and that doesn't call harassment and still deserves peace in this world. That's what she said. You can read it wherever it is and pause, whatever. So yes, I agree with that. 100% true. What you're wearing is not an invitation to do anything. What you're doing isn't an invitation to do anything. Only verbal consent and 100% enthusiastic yes is a consent to do something. Comparing SA to being a celebrity and having people ask for pictures, I think Chapell lost the plot a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't think that is any way comparable. I feel like it's really offensive to survivors. For me, I cannot speak for all survivors. Me personally, when I read that, I thought this was a fake screenshot. I thought someone made this up or whatever. No, it is not. And I was agreeing. With her, rooting for her. You know what? She has boundaries. People need to respect those boundaries. Even if she's a celebrity, celebrities are still people. They still deserve boundaries. They don't deserve to be treated like animals. Don't deserve any of the unalive threats. Don't deserve being stalked or harassed. I want to say that it goes for anyone, actually. Even if you're a normal person, just because you're a normal person doesn't mean you deserve that. So I don't know why celebrities, I don't know. It just gets into this weird territory. But anyways, focus. Her saying that comparing it to sexual assault is a little weird, and a lot of these comments on this TikTok tend to agree with that. I know there's gonna be people like, I never liked Chapel anyway. Oh, this is why I never liked her. Blah 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 blah. To be honest, I liked her. I've liked 2 of her songs. I didn't get that deep into her. In her performances, it looked cool. I know she had a controversy with like the nun costume or whatever. A lot of people, celebrities, have controversies with doing or mimicking religious people or being in religious places and doing something that would be considered sacrilegious. It's a whole different video, which, I mean, give or take, I guess, yeah, that can be offensive to people who are of that religion. And a lot of times it is probably Christianity, because I feel like that's the most dominant religion in the US for the most part, and I feel like a lot of people have a lot of grievances with the religion, to put it lightly. But for Chapel to be taking it as far, I understand, like, okay, maybe I don't understand, but I like to say I understand that having your picture taken all the time, people overstepping boundaries, blah 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 blah. I don't want to say it sucks, but yeah, I can see how that can get tiring, and you have the right to say no, you have the right to just reserve your privacy, you don't always have to do everything. But then in the long run, people are gonna be like, oh, well, Chapel's such a terrible person because they won't take pictures with their fans, they're so ungrateful for their fans. And even, like, I'm not a big creator or music artist, but even when my covers were blowing up with like Melanie covers, I look like a Victorian child now with this, even with my Melanie covers. And if I wouldn't say thank you to every single comment that said that they like my covers, then I'm like, oh, I'm still ungrateful, blah blah blah, you don't appreciate the people who support you. I get it. Having people say that about you compared to actual physical SA, this traumatic thing, one of the most egregious things that can ever happen to a person, and comparing that to taking pictures, like crossing boundaries of asking to take your pictures, stuff like that, is like right here. Not wanting to be stalked or harassed, yeah, understandable. That's up there. The super fan thing, understand, 100% agree. But saying taking pictures with your fans is equivalent to sexual assault? No. And I feel like this is gonna be the downfall of Chapel, or the slight downfall of Chapel. This is like one of her first big controversies that I feel like is kind of a rite of passage for a lot of music artists that like come up so quickly, because she just shot up, after she said 10 years of being in music industry doing this kind of thing, and then all of a sudden just getting all this fame. I understand, especially when it just all comes at once and you weren't really prepared for it, you weren't prepared mentally for it. She definitely doesn't have any media training, which I feel like she needs to do ASAP. Like, her label needs to get on that right now as we speak, and it might kind of cost her a little bit, but I don't think anyone's ever truly canceled. I don't think anyone's ever truly ran off like the internet, not like how we think. I feel like it's very, very rare that anyone actually gets completely cancelled. And I just think it's such a shame, because she does have good music, but now all the comments are just flooded with like, oh, she's just mediocre, just a mid white girl music, blah blah blah, queer white woman doing white woman feminism, which I know a lot of her stans are obviously defending her. That's kind of like stans' jobs, are to be a mob and reply to everyone that disagrees with them. It's kind of their job, it's kind of expected. Some of these comments are, I don't know, it's just always people like turning on people, and I feel like this is like a valid thing to like be like, okay, well, that's not cool, that's very tone deaf, or some of the comments are like, if Chapell Roan has no haters, I'm done. I was with her when she's just setting a boundary, asking for some space, but this is insane. I like Chapel, but receiving the aspects of a career you chose is not the same as the trauma and strength SA survivors face. Like, actually, that's shit crazy to ever compare these. Got her point on the second one, but in the first video, I was like, no, that didn't sound good. It definitely is. I know it's gonna seem like I'm trying to offend her to no one's end, but I genuinely feel like she didn't mean it in a bad way in her head. And I know how probably pressured she felt to, like, she's in a state of mind that's like probably not the best state of mind, and she's just saying whatever on top of her head, which I guess is kind of questionable. That's the first thing you think of is SA compared to what you're going through with not taking pictures and boundaries and stuff like that, which I guess SA is a violation of a boundary. I think that she definitely didn't need to add that in. I think what she said previously before that was just fine. I think everyone got the point, but I feel like she thought she needed to get it more across to something as egregious as SA. But for the millionth time in this video, like I'm saying, it's not comparable. So that's basically the end of this video. If you want to know more about Chapell Roan, I might do like a deep dive there. I don't really know how many people are going to see this video, but I felt I needed to talk about it. I was going to do a different video, like more fashion, but I felt like this was more of something that I was a little bit more passionate about. Not that I'm not passionate about fashion, but it's just something that stood out to me recently. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you still a Chapell Roan fan? I feel like a lot of people are using this as momentum to already just like use it to justify their disdain for her previously before this. That's just my opinion. I feel like a lot of people do that. They just wait until a hate train starts on the person, which I mean, it's kind of valid. I don't usually agree, but I think it's kind of valid in this situation. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next video. Bye.
Gonna lie, took a kinda rough. At least it could be honest for once. So he says he's had enough, but I'm like, why you gotta make it be like that now?